All right, hi everyone. Welcome tonight to the meeting. We're going to jump right into it so we don't waste anyone's time. Today we're going to talk about your 5 tips to starting Plexus. Now, I did want to go over the fact that we have decided to cancel the Silver and 7. We decided it was just something that isn't going to fit with our personal team culture. So we're going to look over that the guidelines that they use and see if we can do something that's a little more manageable to our busy lives, but that can still uplift us and educate us and encourage us and get us excited and motivated. Now, I did want to talk to you guys also about Easter's coming. You're going to be getting together with your family. Now is a good time to put into practice too. And if I'm looking over here, I'm looking at my notes just so you guys know. It's a good time to rekindle relationships and a good time to learn to listen with new ears. I could talk everyone's ears off. So I had to learn that I need to ask questions and then I need to listen and I need to stop talking about myself for a little while just asking questions. And at first you might not be great at it. I know I wasn't, but over time you'll get better and better at the practice. And it's really actually fun now that I have learned how to do that. I really enjoy it. I love to learn more about people. And then find those connections between the two of us, and as well as like health issues as well, which I'll talk away to talk about maybe later in the future and approach them about Plexus. Usually not at that time, but just to listen. Okay, so the first step for tonight is going to be to tell your story. So this probably should have said this first, but what these 5 steps are going to do is lay a foundation, because we really feel like there's so much information out there, so much going on. It's very stressful when you first come in and you're like, where do I look? Where do I start? So these 5 tips should really lay down a good foundation for you to start out I don't know what the word is, just to start out well, I guess I could say. Okay, so the very first one is to tell your story. The reason why you do that is because of your why. That is how you tell your story. Why are you taking the products? Why are you searching to build your business? Whether that's to get your products paid for or to get $500 a month or more. That really draws people in. It really does, because they want to hear about you because they have a relationship with you, or if you're building a relationship with them, again, it's that back and forth. And like we had said, you ask questions. Well, people are going to ask you questions, and to explain to them why you're doing something, not just like, oh, I do Plexus, you should do Plexus. It's listen, this is where I was and this is where I am now. And what helped me get there was these amazing supplements. And to just be totally honest and transparent. People like to see that. People like reality TV shows, and reality TV shows tons of flaws of people, yet people still will watch it and they'll tune in. So not to say you're going to air your dirty laundry and put a whole bunch of drama out there. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for real, valuable conversations where you can share your story of why you're doing what you're doing. So if you haven't by now, I think both of you guys, or all 3 of you, have written down your why. But just write down 3 reasons. It's a great way to start. Just 3 reasons of why you're taking the products, or why you're doing the business, or both. And this requires no training. This is in you already. So that's nice and easy and simple and basic. A lot of adjectives there that you can get started on today to tell your friends about what you're doing and why you're doing it. And this will lead right into Facebook posting, or what I like to say is branding with no stress, because people are like, oh, you want me to post on Facebook? But in reality, we just want you to be you on Facebook and to incorporate now this new why, this new story that you're telling. I already have a video on the Compass page on how to post on Facebook, so I'm not going to get into details on how to do that because I could be here all night. But I just want to say here that facts tell, but stories sell. And while we don't like to say we're selling, we like to say we're sharing Plexus, because in reality, we're, again, telling our story. If we just focus on the features, like Slim has alpha-lipoic acid, and it has stevia, and it has, focusing on the ingredients, and you're not focusing on the benefits. Like, you're a tired mom. I was a tired mom. this will help you not be a tired mom. That's going to connect more because, again, you're telling a story. I know in convention this year, one of the speakers, she's like a professional storyteller. And I heard her on Super Saturday in January, and it was just mind-blowing at what she had to, the story she said. You were at the edge of your seat the whole time. So that's what we're doing. We're just telling a story. And you're going to be bad at it. On Facebook, in person, you're going to be bad at first, so expect that. And then you're going to get good. So you're going to be bad before you're good, and that's okay. And if you just stay where you are and you never break open that chest of sharing your story, then you're never going to get to where you would like to be for your reasons for sharing Plexus, and you're not going to be able to help people around you. So if at any point in time you're afraid to share your story or you're held back, just remember that there are other people out there that are looking for the same thing that you have, especially because a lot of us, we are surrounded by very similar people. Most of here, all four of us here are moms with kids, and we have this. A lot of our issues can be very similar or the same. So to be able to share that story, it'll connect with other people who feel the same way as we do. So don't hold back. And it doesn't have to just be moms with kids. There are many other. There's so many people who are hurting. There really are. So I could talk forever, guys. I'm trying not to do that. Trying to keep things concise. So let's see. So here's something else too. When you talk about Plexus on Facebook, or actually that's not how I should word it. When you talk about your story on Facebook, I recommend not to mention Plexus. And there are two big reasons for that. Number one is compliance, which is really the biggest reason, because we have to be very careful and follow the FDA regulations, standards, whatever they want, are their guidelines. We have to follow those, because if not, for any reason the FDA doesn't like what we're doing, they can be like, well, your customers are not following our guidelines, so we're going to shut your company down. And what would end up happening, there'd be a big lawsuit. It would just not be good for us as ambassadors or the customers. So we have to be very cautious. And what that means we can't mention diseases in our posts. We can't claim to treat or cure in our posts, and we can't even mention words like pain, like for the E's. You have to say words like discomfort. You can't say headaches. Now this might feel like, oh no, how can I share my story? You know, if you have migraines all the time, how can I share that? Or high blood pressure. The best way to share that is by not using the word Plexus. You can say the supplements I use, the health and happiness company, the probiotic I use, the pink drink. You can get around those words and those terms, which is kind of a gray area, but it helps us get out there what we need to tell, the story that we're telling, and it keeps the FDA happy. It'll keep Plexus compliance happy, and we don't want anyone to get misunderstood. Now, what you can do, though, is in private messages or face-to-face or in texting or phone calls, you can share those stories and be like, Plexus has helped me with. Here, can I share a testimony with you about my friend, and Plexus has helped with this? At some point in time, you know, if you're not going to be like, oh, I'm a doctor, you should get off all your medications and now do Plexus only. Don't do that. You should always say, you know, talk to your doctor about this. Bring these ingredients to your pharmacy. They'll tell you if that'll interact with any medications you're taking. Always have that door open too. Like, you know, make sure you're talking with your doctor about this. Just so that no one can be like, well, Steffi told me that I could take this and I have all these issues. So you really want to, that keeps yourself safe as well. Has that freaked anyone out at all? Or does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, I have a question though.
Yeah.
So where do we keep the most up-to-date compliance information, or I guess where is it? Is it on the Plexus website, I guess?
Yeah, it should be in your back office. It'll be under trainings maybe.
Okay.
And there's a compliance section.
Okay.
You'll be able to click on that and go through and see what it says.
And so do the rules get more relaxed when you're doing private messaging as it pertains to words like pain or inflammation? Okay. So It's really all about the size of your audience.
Yes.
When you're talking about those rules.
Absolutely. Because when a friend to a friend, it's okay. You can the FDA isn't going to like jump on you as a friend to friend conversation. But yeah, if you're telling a group of people that balanced blood sugar, Plexus Slim is going to help your migraines guaranteed, and not even guaranteed, but it's going to help with that, then that's a no-no. Yeah. And if you did, like we do that in meetings, like our Plexus meetings, we always have a disclaimer ahead of time, just to cover that as well. But in that same sense, it gives us a lot of freedom because, the second reason why we don't use Plexus on Facebook now is to draw in curiosity, because everyone is selling something, it seems like, on Facebook. And someone, like, I think last week, I had 10 people who started new companies, and they just jump right out there and they're saying their company. And this is new to me too. I started by spamming my Facebook wall, so I'm guilty as can be. But now we want to draw curiosity. We want people to be interested in what we're doing. We want them to ask us what we're doing, or when we reach out to them, they can be like, yeah, I've seen your post. What are you doing? This will help just bring in more curiosity, so we don't completely turn off our warm market because we're like, oh, well, they're just trying to sell something, and 10 of my girlfriends sell that, or I've never heard of that before, so it must not even be a real company yet. That's just another way just to just make people curious really about what we're doing and why is it changing our lives? How is that story possible? And I think that is all with Facebook then, and branding. Obviously, you can look at that video, and I'm going to pass it all over to Steffi because she's going to talk about your Franks list. So take it away.
All right. Yeah. So tip number 3 is really important, and it kind of goes right into everything that Sarah was just talking about, and that is that this business is relational. It is not sales. And I don't know if you felt this way. I felt exactly this way when I joined as an ambassador. I told Sarah, I said, I don't want to be a salesperson. Like I wouldn't be good at that. And the first thing she told me was, we don't want salespeople. We want real people telling their story with others, and that this is about creating relationships and making connections. And that is something that requires no training. It's something that we all have within us, that we have a desire to do as human beings, is to connect with other people and just to relate to them, the people that are around us, the people where God has placed us in our life. That's where we're supposed to be. That's our circle of influence. And we all have that circle of influence. And sometimes, though, you may kind of feel like, well, I just don't think I could do good at this because I don't really know that many people. I don't have a ton of friends. I'm not super popular, and I'm not really good at connecting. And that's really where the Franks list can really help you out, because it's going to show you how many people you actually do know and kind of give that reality to you, because in your day-to-day, you're not really going to see that. You're going to feel like, oh, well, I only interact with 2 or 3 people a day, so that's all I know. But then when you kind of look at your Franks list, which is your friends, your relatives, your acquaintances, your neighbors, your kids' connections, like through sports and school, and then you got your service organizations that you're a part of. That's a lot of facets of your life, and we all have those facets. And so when you really start to break that down, you realize, gosh, I do know a lot of people. So that's really the importance of that, is just to kind of show you. And Sarah actually found this great video that she posted, I think, on the Team Pink Drink page, on how you can actually copy your friends list easily, like in the click of a few buttons. You can get it, every friend on Facebook, you can get that downloaded onto an Excel spreadsheet, which saves a ton of time. And it's what I did, and it really helped me to be motivated to do my list, because I actually, this whole Franks list thing's been hard for me. And I'm like, I can't even think of anybody off my head. Like, who do I put on here? And Facebook kind of tells me, because I'm on there so much, it tells me kind of who I know. And I'm like, oh yeah, all these people. And so I'm kind of working on organizing that. So that's going to show you just how many connections you really can make, and that you do have a sphere of influence. And that's the way we always want to be. We don't want to be salespeople because what we want to show people is that we value them just like you want to be valued as a person. And, when you think about the things that you have opened up to in your life, you're going to realize most of the time it's when somebody actually took the time to listen to invest in you as a friend and kind of value who you are. They weren't, it wasn't usually with that, here's this thing. I just want to, I want to sell this to you. So I just want to tell you a little story kind of how being salesy can kind of backfire. And that is a friend of mine actually who just joined Plexus, is trying out Plexus now. She was in desperate need of these products, but unfortunately, like over a year ago, somebody approached her on Facebook and became her friend on Facebook. And so my friend slowly realized, though, that this person was just becoming friends with her because of the fact that she wanted to sell her Plexus. And it was like every interaction that she had was, oh, do you want to try Plexus? I got this thing, this Plexus. And that really turned my friend off. So unfortunately, she never wanted to try the product because she just got pushed away. It just put up that brick wall. And so she wasn't able to experience the benefits of these products. And that's, that was sad for her because, the way that approach happened, it really shut my friend off. So we just have to be really mindful of that. And that though this is a business and we do want to sell these products, the reason, it goes back to that why, the reason we want to sell these products is because we do want to help other people experience optimal health and get out of, their situation of having poor health. Okay, so that's really where that comes from. And the next thing I want to talk about is just the importance of follow-up. Again, this is all about connection. When somebody approaches you after maybe you do a post and they comment and they say, I'm interested. Well, that gets started into a follow-up phase where now it's your turn to tell them about Plexus and what it can do for them. Now, I find that this could be the hardest part of getting someone to actually try this product. You think, oh, yay, they're interested. And then you get into this follow-up phase where you ask them a couple questions and maybe they don't respond. Maybe at first they say, yes, I am interested. I do want to try. And then you send them a response and they don't get back with you. So when that happens, there's a couple things you can do. And I'm going to just share a couple. The first one is that you can, let's say you've reached out to them. They said first they were interested. And so you give them some information and they say, oh, I need to think about it, and then maybe it stops there and you're like, oh, okay, maybe some time, a week has gone by, you haven't heard anything. And so you reach out again and they don't respond to that message. Something you can do is you can give them a really easy, short question to answer. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your interest with Plexus, with these products? Or maybe if you're just talking about one of the products. And that's an easy answer that somebody can give right away. It's in their mind, it's visual. They see that scale of 1 to 10 and they can know right away. They can tell you, I'm at a 9, and so that shows you, okay, this is where they're at mentally. They are interested. And it's just an easy thing. And I found that when I finish with my statement, when I follow up with somebody, I ask them a question that's a yes or no answer question, they respond more readily because people are busy. And if they feel like they have to write a paragraph in response to whatever you said to them, they may put that off for later because they've either got kids and they're busy with that or they're at work, whatever it is. I know I do that all the time, if I know I have to write a ton. So those yes or no questions are really good to help people. It helps you just gauge where they're at. And then you'll know that you're not pestering them either. And we're going to kind of get into that with the very next point, point number 4. And that is that we're going to talk about rejection a little bit, because that is definitely a foundational thing you have to realize in any kind of, person-to-person sales like this, is that there is going to be rejection of the product from people as you reach out. But I'm going to help with your perspective here. And I'm going to say that rejection is victory. That's exactly what it is. Because what you are doing is you are reaching out to other people and doing the very thing you're supposed to be doing. And just by statistics, you're going to get people that are going to say no. So the more no's you get, the more things you're doing right. It means you're reaching out to more and more people. And it's diamonds in our company that have the most no's. That's because they've reached out and they've been connecting, and they've been connecting with the most people. And so they're going to get the most no's. And guess what? They're also going to get a lot of yeses. And it's because they've gotten all those no's. And another reason why it's a victory is because we grow through rejection. We really do. And we do that because, number one, we're conquering our fears. And this is what you have to do right away, is when you go to share about Plexus, you may be thinking, what if they tell me no? And that means thought number one might come into your head. They don't like me. They don't like me anymore. That's not true. That's not true at all. And it's because so you need to kind of separate yourself from the product. That no is just a no to the product, and maybe only at that time. So that sometimes even an initial rejection is not an overall rejection. And that's really important to remember. I'll say it again. An initial rejection is not an overall rejection. And that is just because everybody's at a different stage and a different point, a different season in their life when you happen to reach out to them. When Sarah first reached out to me, I was not in a place where I was willing to say yes to trying Plexus. She got a rejection. But that was just an initial rejection to a point where I actually, over a period of time, we won't say how long, finally reached out back to her saying, what about that probiotic you were talking about? Can you tell me more about that? I had to get ready, right? So it's a two-part thing. And so we just have to always keep that perspective. When someone says no, number one, they're not saying no to you as a person. And number two, an initial rejection isn't an overall rejection. And the next thing under this that I want to talk about is just your belief. Okay, so you started on this journey as an ambassador. You're going to start sharing about Plexus. So you're going to conquer your fear of reaching out, and of experiencing the word no. And then you're also going to you're going to build your belief. Okay. So number one, you're not going to really do a great job at sharing Plexus if you don't personally believe in these products and what they do. And I highly doubt anybody out there on our team is an ambassador that doesn't believe that these products work. So that's number one. Belief is in your voice. Okay, so when you do believe, it's heard and how you talk about it. So even if it's in your body language, so when you're sharing with somebody just one-on-one about it, it's in the tone of your voice and the confidence that you portray about it. You could be sharing, and what if the person who's coming back, who's talking back with you is saying, well, I don't really believe in that kind of thing. I don't think this, has much importance. You're not personally shaken by that because you know what it has done for you, maybe what it's done for your friends and your teammates. And so you just keep that belief, and you don't let other people sway that belief in you. Okay. So, another thing I want to hit on that too is that maybe in this part of your journey on taking the products yourself, you're not seeing a lot of results just yet. You're just partway there. Maybe you're seeing a few things and you're not quite there. That's okay. What I love about this company and our culture is that if you don't have a story yet, you can borrow somebody else's story, and that's okay. No one is, having some kind of turf wars about, this is my Plexus story and this is, don't share my stuff. That's what I love about it. It's like a big family. You can, if you see somebody has a great testimony on our team or, just anybody, sharing Plexus, you can copy their story and you can paste it on your news feed because they have shared it on their social media. So if they shared it on their Facebook, go ahead and you can use it. You don't have to ask. You can just borrow theirs, and that's the Plexus culture. Is we all want to support each other and encourage each other, to succeed. We want to see each other succeed. So we're going to use each other's stories and each other's information. And so another thing real quick too, just in this whole category, when you're following up with people and telling them about Plexus, is that you want to listen to them. And you want to really listen, not with okay, I'm thinking about what I'm going to say next kind of thing, because then you're going to miss it. You're going to really listen to what is going on when you ask questions. And that helps just with your perspective. Something that I'm kind of learning, especially when I was talking about the follow-up stage with people, is that your perspective really changes your perception of what is read and said. Okay, so what I mean by that is whether you're doing a text messaging situation with somebody or Facebook messaging, or even, so if it's written, a lot of times how you read and interpret something that was written to you is kind of affected by either your mood at that point in time and kind of how you feel at that time. And I'm sure this has happened to all of us where we just totally, we think someone's mad at us, and it's just because we were having a crummy day. And then, so what I recommend is you go back 24 hours later. If you're having a hard time, someone says something and you're like, oh no, are they mad at me? They don't like me anymore. They're really upset with Plexus, whatever. You can just read it the next day and it'll probably sound totally different. Okay. And that has really helped me just to kind of keep my perspective. So that's all I'm going to say right now, because we're getting low on time here. So go ahead, Sarah, take it away for number 5.
Thank you, Sethi. So those are wonderful points. And she has a huge point there on stepping out and taking the time to read a message again later on in a different mood, in a different mindset, because that is what our 5th point is on. It's on self-development, and that's starting right now. That's starting the moment you hit join as an ambassador for Plexus, because you are suddenly going to get onto this emotional roller coaster, and you don't want to be on there. In a sense, it's going to happen. There are highs and lows in this business. So to understand that now, just like we talked about rejection, that's going to happen against the products. You're going to feel great one day because your customer loves your product, and then you might feel like you've just hit rock bottom because another customer doesn't, and that we can't let that affect our mood. So as a human being, though, it does. So what can we do to really put a guard against that from the beginning? That would be with self-development. And I actually felt the same about self-development. The way I felt about network marketing is it's a hoax. But I have discovered that is so not true. The last year and a half, I have done so much self-development with books and trainings, and I'm just blown away about how that has not only helped me as a leader and an ambassador in Plexus, but as a wife and a mom and a friend, where friends have come to me and said, okay, your mental maturity is something I'm looking for. Where do I start? And I was blown away. I didn't even know that anyone even noticed. I didn't even really thought I noticed that much. I just thought it was just me, and it wasn't something that other people could see. So this Plexus business, it's a very, very simple business, but it's not always easy. So that's our emotions when they get involved. And you might be afraid to reach out and tell us or your sponsor when you're down. But I just want to let you guys know that we are here to support you through the good and the bad. You have a great day, you let us know. You have a bad day, you let us know, because we want to share in your joys and excitement, and we want to be there holding your hand and crying with you when it's just a rough day and everything just seems to be going wrong. Because that even happens in our day-to-day life too, not beyond, not even Plexus. So there's a couple ways to start your self-development journey if you haven't already. In our back office, underneath trainings, I do believe there is something called Success. And Plexus pays for this for our own benefit. It comes with your $34.95 yearly joining fee, and it's from Success Magazine. So you're going to find talks like John Maxwell, Carrie Wilkerson is in there, Les Brown. You're going to find a bunch of just talks and trainings and in your back office there. So that's free for you. So I would say take advantage of that. There's audios, there's things you can read. And then the next thing you're going to want to do is I made a list of the top 5. If you can read that, can you read that? Your top 5 books for your mindset. The first one is How to Win Friends and Influence People, and then Everyone Communicates, Few Connects. Those are really going to help you with your building your friendships, building your connecting with people, learning how to listen. The next one is What to Say to Yourself. What do you say when you talk to yourself? Is that's weird. Well, I'll put this out for you. That book is great on your mindset because we have a lot of negative self-talk that's been just programmed into us years and years of just this negative programming. And the last 2, the 4 color personalities for MLM by Big Al, and then is how to really understand the individual's personality and the best way that you can approach them with Plexus, whether it's to help people, whether it's to make money, whether it's the amazing research in our products, or whether these help you feel good so you can hang out with your friends or travel. It's going to break those down for you. It's a really quick and easy read. And then the last one, which is really 2, it depends on, I think, how you are in your personality. Rock Your Network Marketing Business by Sarah Robbins. That's one book. Or Go Pro by Eric Worre. And I really liked Go Pro. I think that just had something to do with my red personality, and you'll find out why I'm red when you read the 4 Colors personality book. But Rock Your Network Marketing Business, it's also great. It's written by a yellow, which I'm not going to tell you what a yellow is. You're going to have to find out but by reading the other book. So I think that really helps depending on your own personality there, those 2 books. But they're both wonderful. I own both of them. I've read both of them. I've highlighted both of them like crazy. And they have great tips in there on how to become professional in your network marketing business. Okay, so we're going to close up tonight. We have 3 minutes. 3 minutes to close up. So go ahead, Steffi.
Okay, here's just some closing thoughts. Number 1, you are not defined by other people's reactions to you. Simply stated, not much elaboration on that. Know who you are and don't let other people define that. Number 2, your belief in these products and how they have helped you personally should not be shaken by someone else's ignorance about them. So if you know what you know for a reason and you're confident in that, don't let that ignorance of somebody else who doesn't know shake your belief. Keep that belief and let it shine.
And then those are great because even today I was talking to someone and she was trying to tell me something opposite from what I know is true. And that could have shaken me in the beginning, but to know that, no, this is true. There's articles to back this. There's doctors to back this. It's good to have that belief built. And if you ever come across that, always ask your sponsor for an explanation or some article there to build your belief there. And with that, you do feel overwhelmed. So everyone feels overwhelmed and underprepared when starting something new. This is normal and it's only going to get better with practice. So you cannot learn everything first and then bring it out to other people. You're going to learn as you go. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to get messy. Like Miss Frizzle said on the Magic School Bus, you just got to get out there and do it. And you're going to love it so much more. And the last thing is, don't compare your journey with anyone else, okay? God made you to be uniquely you, and with your strengths and your weaknesses and your circles of influence, your relationships, and this is your advantage. And it's not your handicap. So don't look to the left or right. Look at what you have been given and build from there. Guys, this is great foundation for you to start on. I'm really excited about what you're going to do next with this. And I hope you all have a great night. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thanks, ladies.